This is First and 15th. We talk about inspiration, motivation, life-changing moments, and conquering fears. Twice a month, we have amazing guests popping through. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
We got it.
Okay. So hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of First and 15th. Woohoo! I am your host, Karal Bush, and today we have awesome Jordan Norwood joining us. So Jordan, tell us about yourself and who you are, how we should know you, because I have my little plug, but I'm going to let you go ahead and do your intro first then.
Cool. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've done an intro. First thing that comes to mind, is father of two, because my kids are about to bust in the door any second now from school. But yeah, Jordan Norwood. I am a former NFL athlete, played 8 years of football in the NFL. Since then, I retired in 2017 and have turned into an entrepreneur, starting a few businesses. Yeah, and like I said, chasing around two kids, 7 and 5 years old, and yeah, just living here in Denver, Colorado.
Yes, awesome. We have some great comments. We have someone who said that you are an absolute legend. So you, I know, are very, very humble. But let me just give a little plug. So you are still the Super Bowl record holder for the longest punt return, correct?
Yes, at this point, yes. We'll see how long that lasts.
Yeah.
We'll see if I just have another week left or what.
Yeah, but we are not here to talk about the NFL because that is not who you are. That is just one aspect of what you did, but you're more than football. So for those of y'all who see him, he's awesome. He was in the pros, but we're talking about life after the NFL. So after you retired, you branched out into various career paths. So one of them stands out to me as photography. I've been curious actually for several years. How did you actually get started with your love of photos and photography?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great question. I really first had my first love was photos. So
Okay.
rather than photography, when I was in high school, I loved editing photos. So that's where I first learned Adobe Creative Suite, Adobe Photoshop. At the time was pretty much brand new, or it felt brand new to me back in 2004 in high school. But I was somebody that would take pictures, I would scan them. Like for my high school basketball team, I scanned pictures, then I took them into Photoshop and edited them, for my teammates and made posters for them during my high school basketball season. So my first love was definitely photo editing, graphic design, and looking at photos. And it wasn't until actually, 10 years later, more than 10 years later, that I first got a camera. I tore my ACL while I was playing in the NFL, and I was out for a season. And my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, bought me my first camera for my birthday.
So
Yeah, so she got me a camera. She knew that I was going to be kind of out of football for that fall, and just ran with it from there. Started watching YouTube videos, and she bought me a couple books also for my birthday that I read, and kind of learned the ins and outs of a digital camera.
that's awesome, Jordan. And it is definitely wonderful to have a then girlfriend, now your wife, like who really knew what your love was and your passions were, but then also saw a way to help you do something that you love. So right on, Aaliyah.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
Bree was saying that is so sweet. Oh, she didn't know that. Exactly, Bree. Me neither. Okay. So we know how you got into photography, which is your love of photos from high school, so,
Yep.
which I think is really, really cool. And so you actually mentioned the term of having to actually scan photos. So we
Yeah.
have come such a long way from having to actually take a photo, scan it, and then actually put it into a software platform. So I want to just find out more about when you retired in 2017. How did you get past any maybe fears or nervousness about your change in your career?
Yeah, I mean, goodness, that's a big question. I mean, after playing 30 plus years of football, every single fall since I was 5 years old, or 25 plus years at that point. Um, yeah, I was pretty nervous to step away from it. Um, at the same time, I knew that um, I had kind of fallen out of love with the sport at that particular moment, or I was just ready to be done with with football. So fortunately, first of all, I was able to step away from the game on my own terms.
Yeah,
I reached
on
out
your
to
own
my
terms.
right, which not many people, whether they're playing their last high school football game or college football game or pro football game, not many people get the opportunity to pick up the phone and call their agent and say, "Hey, you don't call me anymore. I'm done playing." So fortunately, I was able to step away on my own terms, and with that, I was kind of able to prepare. So even when it comes to photography, I started shooting photography while I still had another year and a half left of playing football. So I
Okay.
actually started. I would take family portraits from my
Mhm.
teammates. Um, on road games when I was playing here for the Denver Broncos. A lot of guys wanted their picture taken in their suit for an away game, so that they could throw it on Instagram or whatever. And I would have
That's so
always had my
cool.
camera, and I would be taking pictures of people before they got on the plane. And I would hustle on the plane, get my computer open, edit them, and send them to everybody so they could post them on Instagram before we even
Jordan,
took off.
that
Um,
is amazing how much you are doing in the behind the scenes just to help your teammates out. And again, I
sure,
didn't know that either because I didn't know. So that is
yeah,
that is awesome to hear, Jordan. You are just really taking passion and then also knowing how to use it how you want to do it. I think
sure.
that is so great. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're talking about photography, but what else do you have going on as far as being a, a business owner?
Yeah, so actually can you still hear me?
Yeah,
It feels like
I can hear you.
okay, just
Yep.
making sure. Um, yeah, actually recently my wife and I have kind of dialed back the photography over the past couple years. And I've stepped into a couple other businesses, one
Mhm.
being a wellness company called Magic Wellness, which, mostly does holistic products like CBD, into other functional remedies and holistic wellness goods. And then another company that I started a little over a year ago now is a Web3 company, which deals in blockchain, kind of crypto type of tech company, which is taking up most of my time at this point, which is also a lot of fun.
That's awesome, Jordan. Okay, so you definitely have retired on your terms, which I think is amazing. But you also are have been able to find ways of doing what you love. So is there anything that actually stands out as like your most favorite business venture so far?
Um, yeah, I mean, what I'm doing right now, with uh, the membership called the ACEs, which I oversee and founded about a year and a half ago, is definitely the most exciting thing, outside of playing in a Super Bowl that I've done business wise in my lifetime. It's really pioneering a new frontier of technology and a new frontier of the internet itself, or the way we interact with the internet. So that's super exciting. I know it's also a little confusing if you're not familiar with blockchain or NFTs or crypto. Um, so, so depending on how much time you have, we can jump into it.
How would you give us like a little bit about blockchain and crypto? Maybe like a few minutes, because I mean I've heard the term, of course, so I know what it is in general, but I wouldn't know about blockchain and crypto and like how it all works. So how would you give us like a little background on it?
Sure. So real quick, just on blockchain, blockchain technology is based on this public ledger of transactions, which is basically a ledger that can immediately authenticate any transaction. And how that fits into the ACES membership that I have is through NFTs. So our memberships
What's the
are,
NFT? I'm sorry.
sorry, hey,
I need to
you
learn
don't
the
you don't need to
lingo.
apologize. So an NFT is a non-fungible token. And these non-fungible tokens, they're digital tokens that live on the blockchain. And basically, I'll give you a quick 30-second, I'm going to try to make it 30 seconds at least, kind of
Okay.
explanation of what this NFT membership is. So basically, the ACES membership is a membership that you gain access to by holding an NFT, which is a digital asset. And the cool thing about this membership is, unlike a credit card membership, for example, I can buy more than one membership and I can sell some of them to somebody else. So that's kind of unlike my American Express card. I can't take that out of my pocket and sell it to you, Karal, and
Right.
say, here, now you have an American Express and now you get the perks of it also. That American Express says Jordan Norwood on it. So you can't really transact with it that way.
Right.
I get the benefits of and the perks of that credit card, but I can't just pass them on to somebody else.
Right.
So that's kind of, one of many cool things to me about NFT memberships, is that you can, have ownership of it. You can pass it on to somebody else, and the benefits follow that NFT around. So that is a very, very
So
high level
it
explanation.
is high level. And so if there was someone who wanted to ask more questions about maybe like, is it risky, or is it really worth the investment? What would you say? Because I am asking, I guess, for a friend and asking for myself too.
Sure. No, I think like with anything else, there's research that needs to be done before investing in something.
Right.
When I describe this as similar to a credit card membership, there people don't really think twice about having a credit card,
Hmm.
or paying that membership fee every year. So I say that to say it depends on what the NFT is. I think it's very way too general to say that NFTs are risky.
Okay.
That's just like saying physical goods are risky. Like, wait, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like,
That
physical goods are risky.
okay.
Like a
And then
baseball cap is a physical good. Like, it's NFT is a very broad term.
okay.
Um,
And that
so
actually just helped me, just to learn more about that right now, because I was thinking NFT, crypto, blockchain. I'm scared of trying new things, which is not a good thing. I'm learning that's not a it's not always a risky thing, or like, oh my gosh, like, don't be scared. So I may have to actually look into NFTs, because I really didn't know, besides hearing the terms and lingo, I didn't
sure.
really know what it really was. That's really helpful, Jordan. So if there is someone else who is looking to make a career change on their terms, what advice would you give that person?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, I definitely have experience in that transition field. And, one piece of advice, I think I have two,
Mhm.
kind of off the top of
Good.
my head. One is that, depending on how long you've been in that field, the transition can be long. So I finished playing football in 2017, was my last year playing in the NFL. And I still feel like I'm transitioning out of football, which is 6 years later, which
So,
is just getting used to, all of the norms and kind of industry, um, just the way, first of all, I had never gone on an interview before. Never
okay.
ever in my life had I sat down and interviewed for a position, up until a year ago when I interviewed for a job with the NFL Players Association. Um, but so just things that, I thought I was ready to transition. I retired from football, and then something as simple as an interview, I'm like, wait, I've never done that before. So, and that was 4 years after I retired. So that's number one. I would say that there's things that you'll realize that you're still transitioning 4 years later, when new things pop up. And then number two is just, and what I tried to do the best I could is to prepare yourself with your skill sets. So while I was playing football, I picked up a camera and learned how to shoot photography and edit photos in Lightroom and Photoshop and Capture One and all this different software. Just to prepare yourself as best you can so that you can make the transition as smooth as possible.
That is awesome. And so that kind of advice of having something else to do that once you're actually ready to change your career. So like with you, you already knew that your time was coming on your own terms. So to help you get ready, you have photography. So do you think it was helpful, just to actually have that that second love there, or do you also think that maybe that was a reason for you to actually want to leave the Broncos? So was it like a either
Yeah.
or?
No, that's a great question that I don't think I've ever actually sat down and answered. Um, I think that my transition out of football was less about transitioning into photography and more about being done with football. I was starting a brand new family, had just got married, and we just had our first daughter, our only daughter, our first child. Um, so I think it was, my mindset was more on, I do have photography here, and I'll jump right into it head first. But my mindset was more, I'm done playing football. I can't stand the thought of not spending as much time as I can with, my growing family. So that's a great question. Yeah, that I don't think I've answered before.
Okay, well, look at me having a brand new question for you, Jordan.
Right.
Because you have covered a lot, which I think is awesome. Okay. So is there anything else that you want to share about your various businesses?
No, I think I shared, probably confused people a little bit on NFTs and NFT memberships. But those businesses are Magic Wellness, which is on Instagram, with a J in Magic, so MAJIC Wellness. And then that membership is called the Aces, and on Instagram that's the aces.xyz. And also I'm an open book, so if you have questions, Karal, obviously you have my number, you can give me a call. But if anybody has any questions, that's my DMs are open. Well, I don't think they are. Actually, I think it'll get filtered, but I'll find it. I will find it and I will respond. So just shoot me a DM, and I would love to chat about Web3 or photography, my transition out of football or anything. So.
Well, thank you so much, Jordan. This has been an enlightening conversation, and so I'm personally really happy that you had the time just to talk about life after football. But I think it's again for those who are I'm just joining. This chat was not about football. It was about what Jordan is doing after. We are not our job. So what I've seen at times, people maybe get like so wrapped up into that one thing that they also really don't know who they are once they're done with that
Sure.
one career. So I definitely commend you for being ready to make the shift when you were ready. So do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up, Jordan?
Um, I'm just seeing a very important person named Melanie ask what's ask what's the power team. And so that I'll just answer Melanie's question real quick. So Power, Melanie, is first of all, it's a basketball team in the Big Three Basketball League, which is a 3-on-3 league that Ice Cube, rapper actor Ice Cube, started 6 years ago now. But that is a team that we actually acquired last summer, and by we I mean the Aces, that membership that I mentioned, which is another cool thing about this membership. We have actually like a community treasury that we get to vote on what we do with, and that's what we did last summer. We voted to acquire this team called the Power in the Big Three Basketball League. Kind of another separator from a traditional like country club membership or credit card membership, I'm not picking up the phone and calling American Express and saying, hey, I want you to hear my voice on what we're going to do with these funds. And, we want to do this or that. And that's what we get to do with this NFT membership called the ACES. So, yeah, that's what Power is. That's how we acquired the team. That's why you see me post so much about Power in that basketball season, which happens in the summer. So.
Okay, awesome. So for those people who want to actually go and learn more about the Power basketball team, do they play in certain cities, or how do we actually find out more about the 3-on-3 league and the Power as well?
Yeah, so a great place to start is just right here on Instagram. So I think Big Three's handle is the Big Three, or it might just be Big Three. Pretty easy to find. It's a verified account, so you'll see it. And then the Power account is Big Three Power. So pretty straightforward. And then in terms of the season, Karal, they bounce around throughout the summer. So I think there's 9 weeks in the season, and they'll play in New York 1 week, DC the next week, Dallas, Chicago. They'll kind of travel around city to city, bringing the whole league with them. So play 6 games in 1 weekend type of thing. So if you go to a game, you're actually getting to see several different games in one session, which is pretty cool.
I will definitely have to go see a game in DC because I love basketball. Now, football, I do like it. I do kind of get the concept of basketball. I am there for it.
There you go. We'll get you set up then.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jordan, for joining us. This has been an amazing conversation with you, and so I'm just really happy that you were able to share more about what you're doing with your various ventures. So thanks, everyone, for joining us on 1st and 15th. Check us out in about 2 weeks because we have an amazing food blogger who is ready to join us. So follow us on Instagram. We're on social media, obviously. Thanks, everyone.